Couch Talks is available to stream on all major podcast platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. For more information on that or to find me anywhere else online, click the link in the description. All right, now I'm nervous because you guys are like watching me and shit. But okay. Welcome back to Couch Talks, the #1 podcast here at Texas Tech. I'm your host, Ryan Alberto. And today we're doing something a little bit different, I guess, for my audience here at Tech. Usually I'm just more reluctant on dropping these solo episodes just for the fact that, you know, I know not everybody's a huge fan of podcasts. So, you know, having these conversations that are like complex and emotional sometimes can draw people away from the video. So I just, I always get nervous to put it out there. And on top of that, just being vulnerable on camera. And, I know my mom and dad watch these videos and my brother and people from back home or exes. I mean, X, Y, and Z watch this podcast. So I just get nervous to, I guess, put myself out there sometimes. But I think it's important sometimes for me to get these conversations, these topics, these thoughts out of my head and kind of just into the universe, because I don't think I get that chance a lot on normal podcasts. I try to make my normal podcast about the guests, not about myself. But enough with explaining what's going on. I've had a lot of things on my mind lately. Not all of them bad. A lot of them just reflection wise, looking back on my life. So I'll start with one thing. My buddy brought this up to me the other day. We were just talking, having a conversation, and he talked about how he doesn't want to be average. He said, I guess he had a mentor in his life that, has all these cars and these houses and all these, great fucking things. He's sitting right there, so it's kind of awkward. But, he has this mentor that says all these things. And I guess he tells him this one quote. And, he told me this the other day, and it really stuck with me and kind of resonated with me. He said, if you do what everybody else does, you get what everyone else gets. And it's kind of like, you would think it's common sense. Like, if I go through college, if I get this degree that everybody's getting, if I do this, you're going to end up like everybody else. Look, not everybody else is on a yacht in Miami having fun, popping bottles, doing this, that, and the third. And so you got to ask yourself, how do I get there? Well, you got to take the route that not everybody's taking, pretty much. You got to go the extra mile. You got to find the side hustle. You got to do this, that, and the third. And I don't know, it just really stuck with me. It's been on my mind a lot. And I don't know, take that as you please. Some other things, man, lately life's been an emotional roller coaster. A lot of good coming to my life. A lot of good and a lot of bad. A lot of bad sometimes. And I think the good comes with the bad and vice versa. I found out some shit about my ex lately, and I don't even know if I should be talking about this, but I'm probably not going to go too much into detail, but it just know I found out something that was just unfortunate. It hurt your chest a little bit. 'Cause for some reason, I just feel like even after you have that relationship with someone, you almost have the responsibility in a way. It's weird of just caring for them and making sure they're all right, making sure they're making the right decisions. And I guess, my exes just don't like making right decisions. I don't know what's going on with them, but they just don't like keeping it together. I think maybe I think maybe I kept them down. I think sometimes I was the only thing good in their life. Nah, okay, shit. Cut that out. Fuck, was that bad? Was that okay?
I wasn't paying attention.
That was okay. The media behind the camera, the Jewish media is telling me that was a bad thing to say. Maybe I'll keep it in. I don't know. Maybe they're watching this, and if you are, please do better, man. You guys looking rough out there. But all right, let's keep it pushing. Past the X topic. We're not here to talk about that. Another thing, kind of just in the motivational realm. Time is gonna pass regardless, man, and that's been on my mind a lot lately. I'll be honest. I think it was Kevin Hart said it on like the Joe Rogan podcast or something. He goes, "Time is going to pass regardless, so you might as well make it worth it." And it made me put my life into perspective because last semester I wasted a lot of time, man. Man, if you're one of my friends, you know, man, I stayed in my bed 24/7. Like I went out, I ate, I went out, had, the parties and stuff, but I was in my bed all day. I wasn't making money. I was barely focusing on the podcast. I barely put out episodes. And I just wasn't focusing on myself. I wasn't going to the gym. And I was just wasting time. And it's not a bad thing to have a rest day here and there. To have a day that says, I don't want to do nothing. I want to stay in bed. I want to, I don't want to do nothing today. But, man, we only have this one life. We have one chance to make it count. I think later down the line, I would rather have put in the work. I'd rather have done the shit I didn't want to do than just let time pass. Because time is valuable, man. I also saw this other video that I haven't wrote this down, but some guy was saying that age is the most valuable thing that you can have. He was talking about how he has all these millions and millions of dollars and all this blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yo, even Jeff Bezos can't buy age. You could be the richest man in the world and be 45 and have XYZ problems. You can't buy youth. So if you're youthful now, if you're young, be dumb, be reckless. Don't be too reckless. You don't want to end up in jail. Like, Aaron Hernandez or whatever. But enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Go out. Do that thing that you want to do. Another thing, man. Oh, man, this is a good one. Lately, I've been comparing myself a lot to a lot of people. I don't know what is in my mind that makes me feel like I need to compare myself to people. Because nobody's lived the life I've lived. And I haven't lived the life anybody else has lived. So I compare myself to these people. And it's such a waste of my energy. It's such a waste of my happiness. Not even my happiness, but it takes away my happiness comparing myself. Oh, man, I look like this, or I don't have that. Or why are you doing that? Cut that shit out. You're fucking with your head. And another thing that I heard before is you don't know what people have done to get what they have. So you don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. You just see what they're going on here. So it's like, I don't know. Just stop comparing yourself. A little bit of a funnier topic here is my mom. She's always been afraid of me trying drugs. She's always been so afraid of me getting into drugs, and I don't blame her. Still to this day, I haven't tried no drugs, I swear. The most I do is, hypothetically, drink a little bit of toxic liquid. You know what I mean? On a Tuesday, maybe. You know what I mean? But that's hypothetical. Everything else on the spectrum, not for me. Not for me. I've kept my composure and kept it away from me. But what I find funny is the amount of drugs in college is ridiculous. Man, I remember the first party I went to, I saw a girl come out the bathroom and she had cocaine on her boobs. And it was just a lot. It was a lot to digest. Man, I don't even know how the cocaine got there. I don't even know where she got cocaine from. I don't know why, but I guess parents have this perception of college being this like good place where you're going to change your life. And that's not wrong, but there's a lot of cocaine. There's a lot of drugs and stuff everywhere. So you got to be mindful of that. And have a strong mind to those out there that aren't doing drugs. I'm proud of you. There's nothing wrong with a little liquid poison, but anything else is too much. Stop doing drugs. What the fuck are you doing? Like, legit, stop. It's not cool. You're doing a lot of blow in the bathroom is not cool. Don't let anybody let anybody convince you otherwise. So, just a thought there. On top of that, man, the frats and sororities, what's going on? I don't know if this is going to get me blacklisted or whatever, but I've heard way too many frat and sorority stories that are just literally, I mean, it's just too much. They need to be careful, man. They just need to do more thinking. I don't know what's going on in those houses, but I'll tell you what, it's not holy. I'll tell you what, it's not holy. I'm not a fucking gangster. I've realized it a lot, and I've realized it on IG Reels. I'll tell you why. Man, I don't know if it's just the way I grew up. I didn't grow up with gangbangers. I didn't grow up in the streets. I didn't grow up like that. But compared to where I am now, I have the it is a little bit of a tougher crowd in Jersey, just in general. And to come to a place where people are a lot more polite and stuff, I don't know, I've had this weird tendency of acting like a tough guy. I don't know where the fuck that's coming from, but I'm not. I'm a civilian. I'm a good kid. I don't want no smoke. And I realized, I was watching videos of people in Detroit, people in, in these different cities and stuff, like getting shot. Kids, man. Getting shot, getting beat up, getting curb stomped. Like, IG Reels, you gotta like censor some of this shit. It's a lot. But, yeah, I'm not a gangster, man. I never claimed to be a gangster. I apologize if I've ever portrayed myself that way. I'm really not like that. I don't tolerate disrespect, though, and I think that's okay. I don't think you should be a pushover in your life. I don't think you should let people walk over you. If somebody disrespects you, disrespects your family, disrespects your friends, you should always stand up for yourself. That doesn't mean you need to result or look to violence to solve your issues. You can use your words, and I don't know, just a thought. I'm not a gangster. I don't want to be a gangster. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to die. Another thing, man, I'm so unaware of how perfect life is at times, I feel like. It's so weird because I look back at my life in Jersey and remember being in it. I didn't feel like it was all that good. I didn't enjoy a lot of it, truthfully. I had some good times, but there was a lot of times where I felt like I should be having a good time and I wasn't. And looking back, I go, man, those times were the best, man. Well, what if I think of that? What if I think the same way about now? Life is so imperfectly perfect. Learn to enjoy it, man. Learn to enjoy the moment. I find so many times I'm always thinking about where I'm gonna be. What the fuck is wrong with me when I do that? I'm always thinking if I was here, I'd be happier. If I was there, I'd be happier. If I was back in Vietnam, why do I gotta be somewhere else to be happy? I find that everywhere I go. When I was in Jersey, I said, man, once I leave and go to college, I'm gonna be happy. I'm in college. Once I go to Charlotte, once I go somewhere else, I'm gonna be happy. I keep putting happiness out of arm's reach. And I'm almost not making it attainable to myself mentally by doing that. And I like something that Theo Von said. I might have mentioned it one time, maybe before in the podcast. He talks about how he felt like a lot of his life, he waited for everything to be perfect to start living. How he was always waiting for everything to align for him to be happy, for him to go ask the girl out, to go do this and that. And he's like, bro, guess what? It never happened. Nothing ever fully aligned. There was always something that was wrong. And that's when he realized he can't do that anymore. You got to live your life, man. Things are going to suck. Today I had a great day. I woke up, whatever happened throughout the day was a good day. And then it ended with bad news. You got to learn kind of just how to push past that, man. You got to live your life now. You can't let little things knock you off your course. So, take that as you will. What else is on my mind? Man, lately, man, I just been wanting a pretty girl. Man, sometimes when I see a pretty girl, when I see a really pretty girl, I get so geeked. I turn into like a virgin, I think. Like, this is serious. Real shit. I see a girl and fucking heart starts racing. I can't breathe. I'm like, I turn into like a little kid seeing boobs for the first time. It's like the fucking weirdest thing. And it's like, shout out to all the girls that actually have noticed that. I feel like maybe not too many have. But I don't know what the fuck happens. Like, I literally become this shell of myself, and I literally can't hold a conversation. It's funny. It's actually funny sometimes. And is it weird to say I think it's cute? That I still have, maybe that softness inside of me. Oh, yeah. I guess I never did touch on that. Man, write your thoughts down. Here, I have these mental notes that I've been writing in for about, I want to say a year. I mean, I write a lot of stuff down. Anything that comes to my mind. A lot of the times at night, I find that I have the deepest thoughts when I'm just able, when everything else is quiet. During the day, you have this, that, the third to think about. During the night, when I have nothing else to do and my mind can finally roam, I always have these deep thoughts, and I like to just write them down because the next day you're going to be busy with this, that, and the third, so you're going to forget about it. And I find it's good. It also shows progress on where your mind was at the time. I look back on some of the old things I used to write down. It was not what I think now. It's cool to see your mind evolve. Oh, all right. This is a good one. If she's above an 8 out of 10, there's a new rule. You got to hit it raw. And the reason why I say this, because the worst that can happen is you have a kid. And a lot of you might think, I don't want a kid. I don't want a kid right now. I'm busy. I'm doing things. I'm doing homework. But at least you'll have a kid with an 8 out of 10. Come on. You can't beat that, because you might get to 35 and you might only have the option of a few 6s. You don't want your kid to go through that. You know what I mean? You want your kid to have a hot mom and be bullied in school. You want that. Because if you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. So, man, if you're with the 8 out of 10 and she tells you to put on a condom, tell her no. That's for all my viewers out there. Best advice in the city, I guess. Let's see. What we got on my mind? Man, I hate having to prove myself to people. I hate having to prove myself to people that don't want to understand me. It's my fault, though. I'll tell you why. Since I got here, I cultivated this image and persona about myself that was a lot of things. I wouldn't say all of them aren't me, but I portray myself as I'll say it. I portray myself as an asshole, and I'm not. And a lot of people would beg to differ. But fuck you. Two people in the back are just staring at me. It's not funny, guys. I'm actually a great guy. No, for real though. For real. It's my fault. I came and I portrayed myself in this certain way, and I truthfully feel like I'm a very complex and deep-seated person. I have a lot on my mind. I'm a very emotional person. I just don't like to show myself in that way anymore because I've been hurt a lot in my life, and I'm tired of being vulnerable. I'm tired of being hurt. So I just said, hey, man, I'm going to this new place. I don't got to be fucking hurt anymore. I don't have to show that I've ever been hurt. And I guess I just rode that wave. It was fucking fun coming here and being able, I could tell people whatever the fuck I want. I could I wouldn't say I lied. I definitely didn't lie about, I don't think I lied at all, but you can cultivate stories in your own manner. I can say, oh, like, for example, this is hypothetical. Not hypothetical, but this is not true. Let's say I came here and let's say I cheated on my ex-girlfriend, which didn't happen, but let's say I did. I could come here and I could be like, bro, she cheated on me. Like, she was terrible. Nobody's going to know because she's not here to defend herself, or nobody was in the situation to be like, no, that didn't happen. So, just, I don't know. I came here and I gave myself the wrong impression. I guess you live and you learn. Maybe I'm going to move to a new city soon, and I'm going to try over. I'm going to try to be more myself. So, be yourself, I guess. I always say this, and I probably said this in the podcast 30 times, but be yourself, man. There's only one You're unique to the world. You're man, there's so much potential you have, and you don't even know it. You waste all your potential because you want to think you're less than others. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I think I get it from my mom. I guess it's this drive that, like, every time you accomplish something, it's good for like a day, pretty much. Like, I forget who I am. I go through these weird swings of emotions that, like, I'll feel like the man one day. A girl will compliment me. Somebody will come up to me, say they've seen the podcast. I'll feel fucking phenomenal. Then 2 days later, I'll feel like a fucking loser. Like, legit. Like, I'm not kidding. I feel horrible about myself. I call myself the most outrageously mean things. And I, like, get into these legit or, like, these real mood swings of, like, hating myself and being like, bro, you don't do anything. You haven't accomplished anything. Everybody hates you. Everybody just tolerates you. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from? 2 days ago, you felt like the man. You felt like everybody's looking at you. You felt handsome. You felt fit. You felt like you had money in your pocket. Like, where the fuck did all these negative emotions come from? And it's like, I have to get this constant dopamine hit of validation almost. It's terrible. And I'm noticing it. Like, every few days that pass by, if I don't have somebody tell me, hey man, I've seen what you've been doing, or hey man, I see you doing this, or hey man, compliment me any type of way, I like fucking destroy myself mentally, because I then feel like I'm doing nothing with my life. And it's just this weird thought, and I've never really noticed it. I've always felt it, but I haven't noticed it until recently. I really get hard on myself if I'm not constantly doing something, if I'm not constantly uploading a video, if I'm not constantly posting a TikTok, if I'm not doing something that makes me feel important. And it scares me, man. It scares me a lot because, obviously I don't see myself stopping this podcast anytime soon, but God forbid I do. How am I going to feel about myself? I'm not going to have that attention of people seeing what I'm doing or seeing me talk. And I think it might legit, I keep saying legit so much, but I think it might for real take a impact on my mental health. And I hope maybe by that time that maybe, who knows, I'll stop this podcast. I don't feel myself. Like, I don't feel that way about myself anymore.
Anything powerful in the last week you think stood out?
Anything that stood out?
That happened maybe somewhere, someone said something that stuck with you.
Something that stuck with me in the last few days. I had somebody compliment me. I was at this bar and a young woman approached me and she told me that she had seen the podcast. And I, of course, was happy about that. I said, thank you. But she said something that nobody else has ever said to me, at least not when complimenting me in the way that she did. She said, I know you work so hard. And I wish I would have hugged her in that moment. I don't know if that would have been the right move, but I really think I should have. A lot of people don't see how much I put into this podcast, and scratch me, forget about me. A lot of people don't see what a lot of people do in their daily life to be where they're at. It's, you just see the final product and you just think, oh, it's just that. But it's not. There's so much that happens behind the scenes in people's lives that you don't see. And I guess just in that moment when she said, I'm so proud of you, I know you work hard, or I know you work so hard. It, like, I don't know. It was like, wow, you actually understand that, like, I actually put time into this thing. It's not just a click, record, post. It's like there's things that happen behind the scenes that you don't see. And I don't know, just it was a very lovely and sweet thing to say. And shout out to that girl. Maybe you're seeing this. Maybe you don't remember. You were pretty drunk. So I don't know. You had a big friend though. Wait, I don't know if I should say that. You had maybe this will jog your memory. You had a bodyguard, pretty much, and she escorted you out. And we only had that exchange for like 2 minutes, and then she goes, "We're gonna go," and I was like, "All right, see you later." But shout out to you. I don't know what else. I don't know who. If you see me in public, don't be afraid to say hi. I know at times I could come off as a nonchalant dreadhead, but I promise I'm a nice dude. If you come talk to me, I am more than happy to sit down with you anywhere. Drunk, I meant hypothetically drunk, or sober or anything, and just have a talk, man. You want to talk to me, I'll talk to you. I'm actually a friendly dude. I love conversation. I love people. So don't be afraid to say hi. I promise I'm a friendly dude. This guy is COVID in the back, so I think that's it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. It's around 40 minutes. I don't know how much I'm gonna keep in here. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to do this again. I think I got my points across pretty good. This is what's been on my mind lately. Let me know if you like this kind of content. This just sit down and talk and just listen. There's nothing exciting. Surprised I didn't cry. I actually kind of planned on crying for some reason, but it's a good episode. Thank you. Love you guys so much with the bottom of my heart. You guys make my existence worth it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Is there something wrong now?